My jungle will lure you in, with paths that are deceptively apparent and secrets that will never be uncovered. Silver starlight may show you the way, shape-shifting shadows will lead you astray. So open your eyes, I shall show you a world etched deep in my mind and free from your kind. Only the greatest explorers of the unknown, those who are willing to lose themselves, can unravel the enigma. For the essence of the jungle lies not in being found, but in getting lost. Welcome to Thorn's Jungle. How's it going, everyone? Long time no speak. Had some microphone issues. I recorded probably 2 podcasts of the same subject and talked for about an hour and none of them worked. So I got my new microphone. It took a little bit longer than expected. They go, 2 days shipping, and it ends up being about a week. So I apologize for that. Hope everyone's been good. You might be able to hear them birds yelling in the background. They're the Australian common raven, Corvus coronoides. They sound like a baby crying. But they're probably the most smartest bird that we got in Australia. Corvus corax, which is the common raven around the world, is the smartest, and they're in the same genus, so they are super smart. And when it's bin day, they know each suburb that has their bins out to get picked up by the garbage truck, and they raid them. So they're a clever bird. It is hot in Perth at the moment. Today it's like 38 degrees Celsius, which is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit for all you people that don't use the metric system. And it's super humid, which is good because there might be a storm later, which is awesome. That's my favorite weather, when it's hot, humid, and it also rains. It's like jungle weather, and that is my absolute favorite. And speaking of jungle, this episode is about the jungle. It's a surprise. It's about preparing for the jungle. What you need to bring. How do you get to the jungle? A lot of people ask me, how do you get to the jungle? And I have never done it in the conventional way. Like most people would take a tour, go for a little boat ride through a jungle river. But they never really get to experience it, just getting out there and exploring. And I despise tours. I've never really gotten a guide either. I'm all about the old school exploration and adventure. So I'm going to just go through a few things that are imperative if you're planning to go to the jungle. And I'm not going to recommend everybody does this, because you need experience, you need good fitness, you need to know what you're doing, because the jungle will consume you 100%. If you don't know what you're doing and you fuck around out there, you're dead. You'll never be seen again. I mean, the jungle eats everything. If you fall asleep for too long, the jungle will eat you. As soon as you walk into that jungle, step 1 foot in there, you're being consumed. You're rotting. You're decomposing. So some of these tips that I'm going to give you hopefully might help you if you ever want to go explore. Okay, so here's a few things that I pack and I always bring when I go into the jungle. Okay, so first up, you want to get your clothes sorted. I mean, you need appropriate jungle wear. And for me, if you ever watch any of the stuff I've done on TV, on YouTube, or anything, you will notice I always wear boots and they're always tucked in to my cargo pants. I never wear shorts. I mean, part of that reason is because my calves are so skinny, it's embarrassing, and my legs are so damn pale and hairy. Uh, so I avoid pants aesthetically, but also, you know, I don't know. When you wear shorts and you're a full grown man, it just makes you kind of look like a toddler. I don't know. That's just my preference. That's my opinion. I don't do shorts. I don't think men look good in shorts. But also practicality, they're no good. Um, like in the bush in Australia, if you're walking around, you're wearing shorts. You're at more risk of being bitten by snakes or copping scratches from sticks. Ticks are a massive issue. So I always tuck my pants into my boots, and that applies for the jungle as well because you know you don't really get ticks, but you get leeches, and I mean I would way prefer a leech than a tick. Oh man, give me 10 leeches for every one tick. I hate ticks. They're so annoying, and I've literally had, over the years, thousands in me. Sometimes I'll be out in the bush and I'll come back and I'll have, 30 or 40 stuck in me, and they itch like hell. It's hard to sleep. The wound they leave in you stays open for sometimes months, and like months later, they can still be itchy and still open up again. With a leech, they stick on you, you rip it off, flick it back into the jungle, and you're left with a small bruise and a little hole. It's itchy for a little bit, and then it clears up. And yeah, gimme bloody 10 leeches over a bloody tick. I actually don't mind leeches, they're not too bad. But I do wear the long pants because it's just less skin surface for them to attach themselves to. But they still find a way in. God damn, do they still find a way in. Um, yeah, at the end of the at the end of the day, you're stripping your dirty clothes off, and there's one hanging off your nutsack. There's one up your taint. There's one, you know, on your leg, on your back. So that it's inevitable they will find their way in. But hey, that's just the jungle, man. That's the jungle, baby. And that's what it's all about. If I always say this, it's not an adventure if something doesn't go wrong. It's when shit goes wrong, shit hits the fan, that's when it becomes an adventure. So, to minimize that, I wear long pants and I tuck them into my boots. Now, with the boots, it's very important in the jungle that you wear boots that have good drainage. You don't really want waterproof boots because what'll happen is if you're crossing a river or if you step in a puddle, the water will go in and it won't come out. So you'll be walking around with boots filled up with water and they'll be soaking wet on the inside, and because they're waterproof, they just won't dry. So you actually want boots that have holes in them. And if you've got a boot that is really watertight and waterproof, get your knife out and put holes in those boots. Stab holes in them. Because what'll happen is, you step in a river, you cross a river, your boots get soaking wet, but then the water just runs straight out of those drainage holes. And you're sorted. They can dry much easier because there's more airflow. At the end of the night, you can put them in front of the fire and they'll dry. If it's waterproof and it's soaked on the inside, it's airtight, man. You're not going to dry them. So get some boots with good drainage. And look cool too. You want those jungle aesthetics. You want to look the part. So get long pants and boots with good drainage. Very important. I wear, like, if you watch Kings of Pain and stuff, basically that shirt. I wear long sleeve shirts with the sleeves rolled up. Regardless, if you're stepping foot into the jungle, you're going to be sweating your tits off 100%. As soon as you enter that jungle, you're soaking wet, like you've been chucked in a pool. I mean, it could be like 30 degrees, not even, 25 degrees maybe. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but It's warm, but not incredibly warm. But the humidity is going to be 100%. So that makes it feel like it's well over 40 degrees or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to be drenched. That's another thing. What I love about the jungle is it doesn't matter if you're dripping with sweat and you look gross, you stink, because everybody does in the jungle. Nobody's walking through that bloody forest and coming out not being absolutely gross, covered in mud, dripping with sweat, smelling like bloody Fred Flintstone's asshole. You're gonna be stinking. And that's what's great about it. Everyone's in the same boat. So just get a shirt. Don't overthink it. I sometimes strip down to a singlet. But regardless, you want something that breathes, something that's lightweight, because you're going to be sweating your ass off. Don't worry about hats. If you wear a hat, it's just going to heat your head up. It's going to keep your head warm. And most of our heat escapes from our head. So that's why people wear beanies, because it insulates them more. But it also works in the opposite. So your head is very efficient at cooling itself. So if you're keeping something on there that's not letting that heat escape, then you're just going to heat yourself up. And also, the sun isn't really a problem in the jungle. The canopy is so thick where you're in the shade all the time. Unless you're doing a river crossing or on a river bank, the sun isn't really an issue. So don't worry about that. Lose the hat. With your backpack, you need a backpack. You need a good one as well. Because everything in that jungle has teeth. It has thorns. It has spikes. It has, you name it, barbs on it. You're going to rip yourself up something wicked, And actually, we should make a drinking game out of this episode. Every time I say jungle, you take a drink. Because I am going to say jungle a lot. It's probably my favorite word on the planet is jungle. If I'm having a bad day, I'm pissed off at something, I just picture jungle. I picture the jungle and it just calms me down. So use this as a drinking game. Take a drink. Jungle. So you want clothes, you want a backpack that's sturdy because it's going to get ripped to shit. I promise you that. Your arms are as well. Everything is. You're going to get torn up out there. Get yourself a machete. Machete is so important because, there's branches, there's vines that, most of the time contain teeth. You don't want to be grabbing them and ripping them out of your way. Now, I will give you a tip. I can't demonstrate this because it's not filmed, but I'll give you a tip and try and picture what I'm talking about here when using a machete, because you watch so many movies and they're just hacking away, swiping from either side, bang, 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 going through the jungle. This is dangerous. When you're using a machete, always swing one hand one direction. And let's say you're using your right hand to do it. Swing right, like across your body and sort of down past your body. Always swing like that, sort of outways. If you do it that way and then you turn and swing from the left using your right hand, you've got more of a chance of hitting the inside of your thigh with that machete. When you do it from the outside with your right hand, swinging across to your left, it's very hard for you to hit that inside of your leg or your knee. If you do it the other way, with your right hand, swinging from the left, you can hit that femoral artery that runs on the inside of your thigh. You hit that, you're dead in minutes. You'll just bleed out. So that's a good tip. And actually, if you go on my YouTube channel, I've got like a 2-minute video explaining that and demonstrating it. So it might come in handy. You want it sharp, because a blunt machete is actually more dangerous than a sharp one. It does a lot more damage, because it will cut you as well, but also give you a lot of blunt force trauma, and it'll be a messy cut, harder to stitch up. Yeah, you'll fuck yourself up with a blunt machete. So get a good one. Pay the money. I've been in jungles with $7 machetes, and you hit a small branch and the blade breaks clean off with the shitty little plastic handle. Um, yeah. So what I pack in my bag is things that basically, if the shit hits the fan, will save your life. So like a very small basic medical kit with tourniquets, tweezers in case you get like an annoying thorn. I'm not talking about myself here. Annoying thorn stuck in you, or even like a splinter, because stuff gets infected so easily in the jungle that you want to get any foreign body out of you very quickly before that infection kicks in, because that will kill you. Like everything in the jungle grows so quickly, and that is the same for bacterias and all sorts of nasties that can enter your body. Parasites and stuff will just grow out of control in the jungle. Take a drink. Another thing, and this is huge, I cannot stress this enough when you're out there. Pack a roll of duct tape. Like that duct tape, you can get it anywhere. That silver tape, but if you don't, like that is a staple when you're out there, is duct tape. But I found the fabric tape actually works better. So it comes in a roll just like a tape, but it just tears off, and it's kind of like a material. Basically picture duct tape, but made of like more sturdy, almost canvas that's coated in plastic material. And I found that actually works better. But if you can't get a hold of that, duct tape, 100%. Now, this is because when you're in a highly forested area and there are thorns, spikes, barbs, you're going to rip your clothes, you're going to rip your bag, and your tent could get ripped. So the duct tape or fabric tape is such a good band-aid treatment for that, and they're highly water resistant as well. One of the times I was in the jungle, and this was when I was by myself for 5 nights out in the Malaysian jungle. I had, those backpacks that are like what backpackers use. It wasn't really appropriate for the jungle. It wasn't made of canvas or anything. And on probably the halfway through, maybe the second last day, the bottom of it just ripped, just blew out. I didn't even know what I ripped it on or tore it on. But I had such a long trek ahead of me back to the river from when the boat was picking me up from. Like the little boat dude was going to meet me. I had about a day's trek, and I had a lot of shit in my bag. Had everything in there. And it was the worst place to rip it, right at the bottom. And I got the fabric tape and just turned that bag into a mummy. I just wrapped that tape around it, and it worked so good. It'll work if your boot comes undone, and there is nothing bloody worse than the sole of your boot flapping around when you're trying to bloody walk through the jungle. And you just whip out that duct tape or that fabric tape, get a few coils around that boot, and you are sorted. So 100%, I can't stress it enough, wrap it. Get something like that. If you want to bring toilet paper as well, that's never a bad idea. You can never, you'll never miss shit tickets. Bring a roll of shit tickets with you. They come in handy for everything, cleaning up everything. Not only your turds, but everything. If you want to take a dump in a river, that's fine. Lots of animals shit in the river. Just don't drink in a still, shit in a still bit of water, like a pond, because chances are you'll be wanting to drink from that, and you're literally drinking what you ate the night before, and you'll get sick as a dog doing that. So don't do that. Shit in a flowing river, and it'll take it downstream, and then it can be someone else's problem. Also, please, if you're bringing crap out, not crap as in feces, but you're bringing rubbish and stuff out into the jungle, bring it back with you. Don't be a dick. Pack it and take it with you, especially if it's plastic. I mean, you can get away with leaving little bits of paper and stuff if by accident you leave it, because it'll be gone very shortly. But plastic will hang around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So don't do a dog act and leave that shit lying around. Take it with you. It's so easy to do. Just bag it, take it with you. If you bought it there and you managed to fit it in your bag, taking it there, then you'll fit it on the way back. Alright? Don't be an asshole. Food as well. People ask me all the time, what food do you take out there? If you're out there for days, what do you take? I'm not one to go out there and hunt. Catch fish or anything, cook that up, because if I can bring food out there and survive on that food, then there's no reason for me to hunt and take anything else out of that forest. In a survival situation, if shit went wrong, I absolutely would hunt, and I absolutely would catch fish and eat that. But so far, it's never come to that. If I was lost and I had to sustain myself and my food had run out, then absolutely. It's a survival situation. It's an emergency situation now. Of course it would. But what I normally bring out with me is like protein powder. It does take up quite a bit of room and it is heavy, but it is so calorie dense. If you get a high calorie bulking whey protein, you can pretty much have 1 or 2 drinks and you've got all the calories you need for the day. And that will sustain you for as long as that powder lasts. And it normally lasts a long time. I've gone out there with like half a little tub, maybe like a pound, 250 grams, and it can last me 5 days, 6 days for sure. All you need to do is make sure you got clean drinking water. And if you're near a fast-moving river, easy to get clean water. And getting water in the jungle is never really an issue because it's normally always wet. Even if it's not raining, you can find water, and you can do this using like a bit of plastic. Dig a little hole, fill it up with leaves and vegetation. Then cover that hole with a bit of plastic. You can open up a plastic bag and do this. Sort of weigh it down around the perimeter of the plastic bag with rocks. And then, sorry, I should have said this. Put your drinking container, sorry, excuse me, I had a Pepsi Max. Put your drinking container under the bag and then put a rock on top of the bag, like the bit of plastic. And then sort of cover it up. So what will happen is the condensation from those plants and that vegetation will build up on and rise onto that plastic and then trickle down, because the rock in the top in the middle is weighing it down. It'll trickle down right into your water container. And you've got clean water. You can also get a plastic bag and wrap it around a branch that's got leaves on it and tie it on there and come back a little while later and it'll be wet as all hell inside that bag. So you never really go without water in the jungle. I mean, if anything, there's too much of it. When it rains on you and stuff, it can be pretty damn annoying. I mean, I love the rain, but when you're trying to sleep out there and everything is soaked to you're soaked to the bone, all your clothes are soaked, then you kind of get over it. But that's the jungle, man. It's a jungle out there. Another important thing is keeping your feet dry. When you're out there, your feet are going to be soaking wet within the first minute of walking into that jungle. Either by sweat or just by condensation or by water, rain, anything. Your feet inevitably are going to be soaked at the end of the day, and your socks as well. So when you've come back to camp or made camp at the end of the day, take your socks off and try and dry them the best you can. I mean, if you had a wet shirt and you hung it out in the jungle, it would take days to dry because there's so much moisture and water in the air with the humidity, it will just stay wet. So build yourself a little fire, which is another challenge as well because good luck finding dry wood and kindling or tinder. But you can find it. You can find it, and I'll go into all that in another episode of sort of how to survive in the jungle. So now we're just covering basically what to bring to the jungle. But just make sure you got dry feet and good socks. You want thick socks. They will get bloody hot, but you want thick socks because you get blisters out there, and I guarantee you will. If that blister gets infected, you're fucked. You are fucked. If you can't use your feet out there, you are fucked. I promise you. So get a good pair of socks and a good fitting boot. I always say it, and it's a little motto in my life. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die with my boots on. You ain't taking them boots off me, except at the end of the night when I'm trying to dry my feet. That's probably the biggest chance of dying, is at night, because that's when all the little creatures come out to play, and big creatures too, like tigers, which I've had experiences with in the jungle, and yeah, that was pretty bad. And I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger because I'll go into that in another episode. But always be mindful of what animals inhabit that jungle. Do your research. Know what dangers might present themselves. And here's a tip for you. If you're going out into Asia, the Asian jungle, that can range from India through to Malaysia and Sumatra especially, do not wear Calvin Klein aftershave. Don't wear Calvin Klein, what is it called? It's like Calvin Klein 1, and there's also like Calvin Klein Obsession, because they contain an extract that is kind of mimics the smell of civet cat musk and urine, and for some reason tigers love it and are attracted to it. So you wear that aftershave in the jungle, you could have a tiger tracking you down, and they will be able to smell that from miles away. So I don't know why you would wear cologne or deodorant in the jungle. You're going to smell like shit anyway at the end of the day, regardless of what you coat yourself in. And also, if you're in there looking for animals, they're going to smell you a mile away. So there's no point. Just smell like ass. No one cares. Everyone smells like ass out there. If you put deodorant on aftershave, it's just delaying the inevitable. You might smell nice for the first hour, but then you end up smelling like, John Goodman's taint. So just forget about it. Don't worry about it. And yeah, you'll scare the animals away. Defeats the whole purpose of you being in there. Humans are smelly animals. We are. And hell, I know I am. So we stink, but we smell like another animal. If you smell like this weird artificial chemicals, excluding the chemical that's in there that attracts tigers, most animals would be like, see you later, I ain't going near that. Phew. So forget the deodorant. Don't worry about smelling good because you won't smell good. Alright? What else do I normally bring? I normally bring my binoculars. They don't have to be a big pair, unless you're one of them birders that likes twitching. Is it twitching? It's twitching, isn't it? Where they look for birds. Don't worry about massive binoculars because the jungle's so thick, you're not going to be able to see, 50 feet past you anyway. Unless you come to a river, then you can have a good look at the canopies and stuff across the river. But you don't really need really big, good ones. They're just going to weigh you down. Remember, everything you pack in that bag, you're going to have to carry. So if you're over prepared, which isn't a bad thing, just be aware that you're going to have to carry all that. my bag never really weighs any more than 10, 15 kilos, depending on how long I'm out there. Um, so you can bring your GoPro because you want to film yourself. Bring your phone so you can take photos. You won't get phone reception out there, but you can take your photos and stuff. Just be warned that if you've got a camera and camera lenses, that moisture is going to build up in that lens. So I'm not a camera guy. I don't really carry really good digital SLRs out with me. I did do in my first 3 documentaries I filmed out in the jungle. I bought my digital SLR, and that's actually what we filmed everything on. Canon, what is it? Trying to look at it from here. Canon 600D, and it worked good. It worked. It held up really well in the jungle. We had no real issues with the condensation or anything, and my brother filmed me, so that worked alright. And GoPros are normally pretty good. They're hardy. I've got the DJI, what's it called? DJI Action Osmo. I haven't actually used that in the jungle yet, but as far as I'm aware, and as much as I've used it now in Australia over here, it's held up pretty damn good. And I'm digging it because it's got the front screen as well, so you can see yourself. So you can tell if you're looking like an idiot or if you got shit hanging out your teeth. It's actually a really cool camera. Apart from that, just be prepared, do your research. And yeah, so another question is, and I mentioned this before, how do you get to the jungle? It depends where you are. So before you go to that country, try find like national parks, because unfortunately most of the jungle left in our world are national parks. It's hard to get jungles that are primary rainforest that hasn't been bulldozed. And national parks are awesome because, there is illegal logging and stuff, but it's a preserve. And some of them are huge. Some of them are the size of small countries. The one I frequent in Malaysia is like almost the size of Greece. So that's humongous. And it's thick jungle. And I don't really go, oh, let's walk into this national park. People think a national park and it's got like paths and everything around it. It's like, no, you cannot put footpaths throughout something that's 4,500 square kilometers. Yeah, it just ain't happening. But what I do is I'll go to the closest town that is nearest to that jungle, and basically it's a matter of just going out there and walk into the jungle, take the plunge. Now, I don't recommend this for most people because you will get lost, and we've been lost before in there, and it's fucking scary. But always have a compass with you. Always know your bearings. Know which direction you've come from, so you know regardless if you head back in that direction, you're gonna hit a road or a river or something like that. Also use natural landmarks as well. So if you see a river, you can stay alongside that river and follow the river where you're going. It's also very hard to penetrate the jungle and move far. So it's very hard to get deep jungle away from those villages or towns, because you can walk for a whole day and only maybe have walked a mile. So the best way to make it deep into the jungle is to get in a boat, get one of the locals to drive you up river an hour or so, and then get him to drop you off, and then just walk out into the jungle. And you're so far away from people that, sometimes I'll just walk around butt naked because I know I'm not going to see anyone out there. There's not anyone near you for hours and hours and hours. And what we normally do is we go, can you pick us up? Well, I actually did this last time I was out there by myself. I was like, can you pick me up here in 4 or 5 days? And don't pay him until he picks you up. Because if you pay him, he's got no incentive to come back and get you. And then you're fucked. you're well and truly fucked. Um, and you know the locals, especially like the Malaysian ones, they're awesome. They're really good. They're really helpful. So he will be there at that time. But just make sure you know how to get back to that river. I've even taken those beacons out there in case something goes wrong. You flip up the antenna, and emergency services will try and find you. Um, but just be careful. Do not get lost because you'll never be found. I promise you, you'll never be found. Your body won't be found. Within weeks, there will be nothing left of you. Scavengers will come and scavenge from you. The jungle will literally consume you. You'll be gone. There'll be a tree growing where your body laid. Okay? So know what you're doing. Have a backup plan. Tell somebody where you're going to be as well. Um, you know, you can tell anyone the nearest shop that was there before you set off into the jungle. Just let people know where you're going and how long you're going to be out there. Um, you know, just so there's a general area that they know you're at. Um, just be safe, you know? That's all I can really say. Prepare well, but don't over prepare. Um, let people know where you're going. Do research on what jungle the habitat and the animals are going to be there. Um, Dress appropriately. Get yourself some good boots. Get yourself some duct tape or fabric tape. Get yourself some decent high calorie protein powder and some tinned shit. Maybe some dehydrated shit to eat. And don't fucking litter. That's it. And also, if you, be very important, I should have mentioned this earlier. Very important. If you're going out into the jungle and you're doing it with somebody, make sure you trust the shit out of that person. Because trust me, man, you do not want to go out there with somebody and you walk for an hour and they're already complaining that they're tired or their legs hurt or they've got a blister. That will fucking ruin your trip. It will ruin your adventure. And then you got to wait for this motherfucker to walk with you or hobble with you, and you got to wait for them, you know, hear them whinging and all that sort of thing. And I promise you, after a day or two of hearing that, you will fucking want to kill them. I promise you. The thoughts will be popping up in your head, and you're holding a damn sharp machete, hopefully. You know, so don't put yourself in that situation. Make sure the person you're with is as experienced, if not more than you. Don't go out there with amateurs, all right? I mean, if you're an amateur, that's fine because more than likely you will be in that same situation. You will be complaining. It takes a while for you to get used to the temperature, the humidity, the terrain, the cuts, the leeches. It takes quite a few trips for you to get used to that and get better and better at it. But just make sure you're not with some soft cock that doesn't want to be there, you know. And yeah, it's an adventure. Shit will go wrong 100%. It's not an adventure if it doesn't. But you don't want it to just go like, oh, we've been here a day and we're already ready to leave. You know, that would just suck. So do yourself a favor and go with somebody that you trust. And on my last Q&A, actually, one of the questions was from a young guy, and he was, can I come out with you into the jungle? And I feel kind of bad because I shut him down pretty quickly. I was like, no, I don't know you. I don't know how you're going to fare in the jungle. So I was kind of blunt with it, but it's because I'm so passionate about it. I've gone out plenty of times with my brother into the jungle, and I know I can trust him because he's held his own out there every time we've gone out there. And he's a massive drinker and he smokes, but for some fucking reason he can keep up. He's on par with me out there. So yeah, that's awesome because you can go out there with somebody that drinks as much as him and smokes as much as him and can't walk fucking 100 meters without stopping for a breather and are constantly whinging, you know? So that was awesome. He never did that. It was really good. So yeah, make sure the person you're with isn't a soft cock. Give them a drink of fucking concrete so they can harden the fuck up, hey? But yeah, I think that's about it. So with preparing for the jungle, because you got to be physically fit, train, do fitness training, do strength training. I do a lot of functional training, not push ups, they're stupid, chin ups and fucking what's it called, weighted chin ups. Because if some tiger or something's chasing you, you need to be able to get up a tree pretty damn quick. Or if an elephant's coming after you, you need to be able to climb a tree pretty damn quick. Pull yourself up. Pull your body weight up. Super important. I mean, a tiger can climb a tree pretty damn easily, but elephants and stuff, and we have had run-ins with elephants out there. Um, you want to be able to get up a tree pretty damn quick. So make sure you're in shape. You know, if you're a fat ass and you're hobbling around out there, you're not going to fare very well. So, you know, that all comes with it, and your mindset as well. If something happens out there and your morale is low, it makes it so much harder. I think probably the most important thing is like your willpower and your mental strength, because morale is so important out there. You don't want to be in that state of low motivation, and just resenting everything, because you're not gonna make it out of there. You're gonna have a really crap memory of it. You're just gonna be like, every time you think of the jungle, you're gonna have negative thoughts about it and resent it. Every time someone just flushed the toilet. God damn it! How embarrassing. That wasn't me. Every time I think of the jungle, I have the greatest memories ever, best memories. So that's what you want. So make it an adventure. Prepare mentally, physically, and have fun with it, because it'll be the coolest adventure of your life. I promise you. It's the jungle, man. It's, you know, you watch Indiana Jones and Tarzan and stuff, and make your own action movie, live your own adventure movie, jungle adventure movie, and be safe, be cautious. Don't twist your ankle either. God damn it. Don't twist your fucking ankle. And I've got real ankle twisting prone legs, but it's never stopped me, so yeah. Yeah, I will do more episodes on like uh survival, jungle survival, you know, how to build camps, how to eat if your rations run out, uh, how to deal with predators, and some of the experiences as well, like I was saying earlier about like the tiger run-in I had, the elephant situation we had. So stay tuned for that. This one was a bit different, but that's what I want to do. I want to break it up, do some cryptozoology stuff, do some cool animal stuff, do some own experience stuff. It's Thorn's jungle. It's a mystery. It's full of lots of mysterious creatures. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will not let it go another week or two without an episode, okay? That won't happen again. I got a cool setup. I hope it sounds a lot better than my other ones. It definitely should do, because this mic costs like 20 times more than my other crappy mic. So, yeah, subscribe. Give me a good review as well. Do it. 5 stars. No less. Cheers, guys. I'll see you next time.